Following the invocation of Article 50 on the 28th of March 2017, which sets out the process for leaving the EU, the future of the Cornish fishing industry was made uncertain. As part of Grand Challenges Week, we investigated the potential challenges the Cornish fishing industry faces regarding Brexit and potential solutions by interviewing a number of stakeholders. Although the current EU legislation aims to benefit all fishing fleets and reduce environmental impacts, some issues have arisen, which are fishing boundaries, overfishing, bycatch, unsustainable techniques, and quotas. A quota is a legal limit on the amount of fish a fisherman is allowed to land. If they exceed this limit, they have to throw the excess back into the sea to avoid prosecution. This is known as bycatch. This was an issue raised by a fisherman we spoke to.
One of our guys, he put some nets out, because you see when you put a net out, you don't know what you're going to catch. And he had 1,200 kilos of haddock, and he was only allowed to land 150, so he had to dump all that fish.
The most controversial pieces of legislation which uses the quota system has been the Common Fisheries Policy, which aims to give all EU countries equal access to EU waters and to create fair competition. However, this system has come under great scrutiny following the conflict of competing interests between different sectors. The issue with the Common Fisheries Policy was a running theme in our interviews.
Common Fisheries Policy is one of the worst pieces of EU legislation that we can.
I think the quota system is totally wrong. Off this coast here in January to March, it's a lot of cod, we're not allowed to fish it.
5% of the current Danish catch is from UK waters, and France have 84% of the English Channel cod quota, whereas Britain only have 9%. We interviewed two sustainability experts who spoke on fishermen's perceptions.
I think part of the Brexit vote, part of the rejection of the EU community from Cornish fishermen was a rejection of globalisation, because the standard narrative is that globalisation has been a force for bad. Actually, I'd probably counter it and say globalisation has been a force for good, but there are some things that we need to improve.
Down here in Cornwall, the fishing community generally is very pro-Brexit, and I think that's born out of many years of frustration living with the Common Fisheries Policy, which is the centre point of the EU's fisheries management strategy, and the way that they perceive maybe takes away their control of natural resources that are within British waters, within the UK exclusive economic zone.
To share their thoughts on fishermen's perceptions, we interviewed members of the public as to whether they thought Brexit would have a positive or negative impact on fisheries. During an activity with the public, we found 51% held a negative stance, highlighting the public split of opinion. The divide in public opinion demonstrates the complexity highlighted by the academics.
In theory, we might get back control over a lot of British waters, basically, and fishing grounds, but it's very uncertain as to whether that will happen because there's lots of issues around historical access rights.
Brexit will mean taking back control of our EEZ, our economic zone, and therefore we will have exclusive use of those waters and exclusive access to the fisheries resources that are within those. But that's not really a realistic proposition, because actually the bulk of UK fish isn't sold within the UK, it's sold back into Europe and to other places.
In conclusion, the complexity behind the future of the Cornish fishing industry post-Brexit is undeniable. In the short term, EU fishing policies will most likely remain embedded in our national legislation. However, a change in quota is imminent, although whether it will be positive or negative remains unpredictable. Potential solutions for public policy include full management and exclusive use of our own waters, improved relations between industry-involved stakeholders, and implementing a proven effective model to reduce bycatch waste as adopted in Norway. Although these seem like rational solutions, the competing interests of different sectors may not always align. This highlights the challenge behind interdisciplinary involvement, threatening local livelihoods and food security. These are challenges that we hope, in light of Brexit, we can overcome.